All right, people, what's going on? It is Thursday, January 9th, 2025. It's 3 p.m. here in Germany. This is the Insanity Report for today, where we're going to talk about two violent leftist extremist terrorists have been sentenced to actual jail time for what they did in 2023. So Brian and Crystal de Pippa, that's their name, and if you see their pictures, at least the guys always look the same, you know what I'm saying? He looks like the guy from yesterday, the teacher of the medieval trans studies thing. He looks like him, but they all look the same. They're all these like wet noodle, soy boy, pussy boys. And this guy and his wife have now finally been sentenced. Now, she didn't get any prison time, unfortunately, because she capitalized on her plea deal, so the conspiracy charges against her were dropped. We'll get into a second why there was even a plea deal to begin with, because there was pretty hardcore proof that they were the ones that did this. So in 2023, in the University of Pittsburgh, when Michael Knowles was speaking about transgenderism and womanhood or something like that, these two were in a crowd of people. They belong to Antifa. They're Antifa terrorists. And they threw an incendiary device, fireworks bomb, into a crowd of people. Now, they're not very good terrorists because they didn't kill one person, but they injured a cop or a couple of cops and some other people. And, they threw the thing. They saw them do it, okay? So that's one, right? So they threw the bomb in there. And I guess the cops and the FBI should have been investigating them. I don't know why. Maybe they were doing it because this was such an egregious act. There's something that had to be done. I don't think, personally, that's because I've lost all trust in these courts and the justice system in general. They're going to have to do lots of hard work to gain the trust of the average person back. And jailing two maniac terrorists on the left isn't going to cut it for me. That's not enough. Because now suddenly we're seeing arrests and jail time for Antifa people. Suddenly now, why not in 2024? I don't know, because I think that the trend was, hey, look, the left can do whatever the fuck it wants, right? And as long as people like Kamala Harris or maybe Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, as long as those people are in power and not somebody on the right, Donald Trump or a Republican, as long as they're in power, these people can get away with this kind of bullshit with impunity, especially if they attack conservatives, which Michael Knowles is. And the University of Pittsburgh was holding a conservative event by allowing him to speak there. And so they threw this bomb in there, right? And so they were investigated by the feds. And the feds figured out that this Brian de Pippa guy has a black and red motorcycle. They saw him drive around on it. That was the same motorcycle he used to drive to the event in Pittsburgh, right? And they also have receipts of him purchasing like extreme fireworks on the internet that he then used in order to craft this weapon, right? So this guy is not only not a good terrorist because he couldn't kill anybody with his pussy little bomb, right? He also fucking drove his own motorcycle to the crime scene, right? And he kept receipts of the shit he bought to make the weapon. Now, this is either the dumbest motherfucker on the planet, right? And if he were an Al-Qaeda terrorist, Al-Qaeda would have beheaded him and put his head on a pike in front of his mother's house and said, this guy is a loser, right? That's what they would have done. But he's an Antifa terrorist, so, this was actually, I guess, pretty good. In the States, they're pretty dangerous. Germany, England, they're more like after school, rebel rousers and shit. I'm not really worried about them. Of course, when people are in big groups, they can do a lot of damage. But, this guy actually threw a bomb that he kept the receipts of, that he bought it, right? And then he drove his own motorcycle with its own license plate to the scene of the crime. These people are dumb as shit. And so why are they getting plea deals? So the plea deal is, dude completed guilty, right? And he gets 5 years prison time. Now, I'm sorry, but throwing an explosive device into a crowd of people is, whether you killed anybody or not, it's still attempted murder, right? Because if he would have been smart enough to make an actual bomb, he would have killed everybody in that crowd, right? So I don't see how attempted murder times X number of people that were in that crowd, I don't see how you get 5 years for that. So again, why do I think this is happening now? I think this is happening now because Donald Trump is now president, right? And these judges and corrupt politicians and the corrupt justice system people and the corrupt DOJ and FBI see that, hey, they're going to be under the fucking microscope come January 20th, right? They're going to be under the microscope big time. And so now we better start actually doing something to people on the left, especially violent criminals, because otherwise the look on us through this microscope is going to be big, and they're going to find something that I'm not going to want them to find. That's what the judges are thinking. They're covering their ass. It's COA time. COYA. CYA. 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 I'm retarded, sorry. So CYA time, cover your ass time. That's what time it is in America for all these leftists, Democrats, corrupt politicians, corrupt justices and judges. It's CYA time for these people. So, hey, this Brian DePippa and his stupid dumbass girlfriend, or wife or whatever, you know, they're going to be the sacrificial lambs, but we're not going to hurt them too bad, guys, because the guy can attempt murder on 10 people in a crowd, but we're going to only give him 5 years prison time. Oh, and his wife, who was complicit in the whole fucking thing, right? No, his wife, she's going to get 3 years probation and a little bit of community service because she also pled guilty in some plea deal. Why are they going to plea deal? The proof is right there. They found the receipts at his house, and they've got his bike with his license plate registered to him going back and forth from the scene of the crime. They also have him under surveillance where they catch him going to an Antifa meeting at some anarchist bookstore or some shit like that. Right? These people are utter fucking criminals. They're terrorists. And 5 years in prison just doesn't cut it. I think these are just going to be the scapegoats so that this particular district judge hopes that, well, that he recently just put 2 Antifa terrorists in prison, that he's going to get overlooked with a microscope. But I would look at him in particular, right? I'd look at him in particular and say, well, okay, let's forget about this 5 years DePippa shit. Let's take a look at what he's been doing the last 3 years, 4 years, right? See, what this judge is hoping to do is he's hoping to, like, kind of distract him and say, look, you don't have to look at me. Look, I'm the guy who's going after the left, man. I put these people in prison, man. Don't look at me, man. It's not me, man. Right? That's what he's hoping for. And maybe he'll get his way. I don't know, you know. I would say Kash Patel for the FBI, you know, DOJ, Pam Bondi. I would take a look at this judge for sure, because I think he's just doing this now because he knows that the tide is about to turn on his ass, right? That's why I think he's doing it. That's also why I think that these people only got such a light, stupid sentence for being the dumbest fucking terrorists that I can remember in a long ass time, right? You know, like I said, they built a bomb, threw it into a crowd of people, and still killed 0 people. And this is the guy that they hail as some sort of hero within the Antifa crowd? Well, fucking great. You know what I mean? Great. But he still tried to kill him. And everybody, look, dude, if this would have been a right-wing person or a skinhead or some shit like that, this motherfucker would have never seen the light of day again, right? If this would have been a right-wing person that threw an incendiary device at a leftist speaker on a college campus, and they didn't kill anybody, but they hurt a couple people a little bit, the motherfucker would never be let out of prison. We all know that. So the 2-tier justice system is still not gone. And that's how stupid these people are, these judges also. You know, they think that something like this is going to, I mean, even I can see it, that it's just a fucking scapegoat deal. You know what I mean? Even I can see it. So do they think that the top cops at the DOJ and the FBI coming in are not going to notice that? That, oh yeah, okay, this dude finally put a leftist in jail, but he only gave him 5 years for throwing a fucking bomb into a crowd, attempted murder times whatever the amount of people that were there? No, it's kid gloves for the left still. But I got news for y'all. Y'all got about 2 weeks left, right? 2 weeks, that's what you got. And then it's going to be watch the fuck out time. Then it's going to be fuck around and find out time. I'm 100% sure of it. And listen, guys, especially if Kash Patel and Pam Bondi get inaugurated or whatever you call it, they get their jobs at the FBI and the DOJ. Dude, these leftist motherfuckers, Antifa, all these fucking lunatics, corrupt bastard Democrats, the corrupt judges, these people are fucked. You know what I mean? Listen, if these fuckers are smart, they'd be booking one-way trips to Belize right now. You know? That's what it is. That's what, like this Brian DePippa guy that got busted and fucking put in prison. Either he's the stupidest terrorist in the world, or he didn't think he was ever going to face consequences. So he could just ride his own motorcycle to the thing, and he could have the receipts and the proofs of the bomb and shit, because basically up until now, he'd be viewed as the hero. They're not going to fuck with him. He's King Antifa against Michael Knowles, who hates trans people. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he just wasn't worried about getting caught. Maybe he's just not used to covering his tracks that well. You know, because he didn't have to. Because the left can basically do whatever it wants. Maybe that's it. You know? But no, I think he was just fucking stupid. I think he was just stupid. A dumb motherfucker. And this shit happened in 2023. Right? They had the proof and everything in 2023. Why is this court case happening now? Why are they getting sentenced now? It's 2 years later. The fuck are we talking about? And then they get a plea deal for what? Why? Why do they get a plea deal? The proof is there, they did it. So go to court. Take them to fucking court. No, but the plea deal, because, yeah, look, guys, we don't want to spend time and money. You know, the courts are so backlogged with grandmas that went to January 6th. We don't really have time for this shit, so we're going to cut them a sweet-ass deal so that we can just get the case over with if they plead guilty. What the fuck's that? That's not justice. You know what I'm saying? That is basically bribery. It's basically bribery. It's basically me as the criminal saying, listen, guys, I know you guys have got your hands tied up in all this other work. You're not getting paid much. It's costing a lot of taxpayer money. And why don't you just give me a good deal? I'll plead guilty, you know, and then we'll just put the whole thing away. Yeah, how's that? That's a fucking backroom blackmail deal. That's not what plea agreements were meant to do. You know what plea agreements were meant to do? Is meant to coerce people to plead guilty to something if they knew almost 100% that person did it, but the proof wasn't there, right? So it's like a gambling thing. They gamble with you. They tell the other person, they tell the criminal, listen, either you're going to go to prison for 100,000 years if we can prove this in court. You can roll the dice. It's like a gambling thing. You can roll the dice. Either you go to prison forever, or you take this deal and do 10 years. Everybody's going to take the fucking deal. You know what I mean? Even innocent people take that deal because they're afraid they're going to get railroaded in court. But that should not be possible. Anyway, guys, this is only the first of many that you're going to see. It's going to be great. I'm going to have my popcorn ready. I'm going to be watching the fucking DOJ and the FBI as if it's fucking Dragnet. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be like a comedy show to me. I'm going to love it watching these motherfuckers go down. And these people are just the first ones. But let's not forget, people, there are high-profile people there out there that Anthony Fauci must be held to account. And I'm going to be very disappointed if Trump, his DOJ, his whole team, and all the people cannot make that happen for some reason. That's going to be disappointing. Now, if there's some way that he got pardoned for any crime that he could have possibly ever committed ever, I don't know how that's possible. Up till now, he hasn't been pardoned. We'll see. We'll see. Okay? But something's got to be done. Also about COVID and shit. You know what I mean? There's so much that's got to be done. But I think this is just like the first little taste already. We're getting to see some of the backlash already starting also against the leftist maniacs on the street. That's a good thing. Guys, if you want to see my stuff all the time, you want to get it in your inbox directly as it comes out, all you got to do is subscribe to my Substack below. If you're watching this on another platform, you might only be seeing this video because some videos get banned, others aren't allowed to be put up, others are too long for certain platforms. Other ones are getting throttled. I can't put articles on all these platforms. The Substack is the place I can put the articles. So if you want to get all my stuff, articles, videos, all the content, put directly in your inbox when it comes out, when it's published, then all you got to do is subscribe for free or for $5 a month down below to the Substack. Do it, guys. And otherwise, follow me on wherever you're watching this, but no, you are not getting all the content there. Guys, peace out. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.